It's just fantastic. Hello everyone, welcome to a Pr0n 2 Electric Boogaloo. Before we get into the subject at hand, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank all of you for coming to this channel, subscribing, smashing the like, leaving comments, which I've applied to, I believe, everyone. It really helps this channel as we seek to grow, and I'm very grateful that you would come here from my main channel. So today I want to talk about porn. Yes, you heard me right, and no doubt you saw it in the title. Smut, filth, the grown-up stuff. Today we're going to be discussing a former adult film actress who has some views concerning the sharing of material on platforms like Twitter. This means we're going to have to look at TOS and suggestions to protect those that she believes she is protecting. The actress in question is called Lisa Ann, and I saw this via the New York Post, who tweeted out, "Ex-porn star Lisa Ann wants Elon Musk to ban X-rated content on Twitter." My favorite tweet covering this was Lilith Lovett, real pulling the ladder from above energy, probably jealous at all the younger independent content creators with the newfangled OnlyFans. It's a screenshot, not an archive, because Lilith may have deleted the tweet. I don't know why, but there is a point here, and I'm sure when we get into the meat of this, we'll have a more concrete perspective. Before we get into the article itself and address Lisa Ann's position, we should look at Twitter's sensitive media policy from January 2022, Twitter's non-consensual nudity policy from November 2019, and adult sexual content policy, which does explain what is considered adult sexual content and what is prohibited for those of certain age groups, i.e. minors. So from the first policy, adult content is any consensually produced and distributed media that is pornographic or intended to cause sexual arousal. Some examples include, but are not limited to, depictions of full or partial nudity, simulated sexual acts, and sexual intercourse or other sexual acts, with there being exceptions made for artistic, medical, health, or educational content. Violations of this policy will be if you send people unsolicited images or you use adult content within live video profile header or list banner images. It is important to know this because there are systems in place for a reason. To the non-consensual nudity policy, a violation of the policy, examples include hidden camera content, creep shots or upskirts, images or videos that superimpose or otherwise digitally manipulate an individual's face onto a person's nude body. Deepfake, I believe, is the term for that. Images or videos that are taken in an intimate setting and not intended for public distribution. Revenge porn, offering a bounty or financial reward in exchange for intimate images or videos. And in case you didn't know, on Twitter, you can report violations of these policies. You have a report tweet. You can select it displays a sensitive photo or video, select an unauthorized photo or video, or it includes unauthorized intimate content of me or someone else. There are many options available. But to the third policy, you have examples of adult sexual content, and this is a full list. Underneath that, you have a hyperlink going into what is prohibited content for minors. When you click that, you get a rather extensive list of what minors should not have access to. Now, this is all rather important, because if you are 13 years old or younger, you are not permitted to have a Twitter account. Many people undoubtedly get around this because got to build that franchise at a young age, right? Does one now need to dust off their sarcasm sign for that? But it is worth acknowledging these exist. These systems and what is and is not permitted exist. Twitter's terms of service aren't that overly complicated. Many people breach them on a daily basis. Yes, they do, and it is down to the moderators and the users to keep on top of it if they want to, let's say, restrict access to it. If you're an adult, for example, there are 6 very easy ways of getting around this. You can block comments from specific accounts, you can hide offensive comments, you can filter specific words or phrases, you can introduce account restrictions, you can mute individuals, and you can block individuals. You can report hateful content. You can filter sensitive content. By the way, settings and privacy, not overly complicated to use, by the way. So I guess with all of this in mind, we should now look at what it is Lisa Ann takes great umbrage with and address it as calmly as we can. An ex-porn star demanded that Elon Musk ban X-rated content when he takes over Twitter. accusing the social media giant of being the largest distributor of illegal content to minors. Lisa Ann made a name for herself in the adult film industry by parodying Republican vice presidential nominee Sarah Palin in several videos. Told listeners on her podcast last week, something I really hope Elon Musk takes a step ahead and says, "We are not doing this anymore, and if we are, you'll have to enter in your birthday. There'll have to be an ID situation. There will be levels to this." That's what I'm hoping. I thought when you created an account you had to enter your birthday in the first place. The ID one's a tricky one. Many people like that anonymity. And of course the grander picture, protect the children, retain your anonymity. It's a tricky one depending on who has access to that information, because you could create an account and use ID, be verified and therefore not be a bot, which is something Elon Musk wants to do anyway. But what happens if Twitter gets hacked and all that information becomes public? You will lose a vast swath of users, which I'm sure is a motivator for many of those that run Twitter or any social media platform, where they know there are lines where they could lose more people than they could gain. Lisa Ann believes that there is no contradiction between her message and her career, saying, "Yes, I did porn for many years of my life, and I'm not hiding my past as people tell me every day on social media where I'm wearing clothes, saying, 'Why are you denying your past? You're this, you're that.' I'm not. I'm just evolving, and we are allowed to evolve. So my disdain for porn on social media has nothing to do with porn, other than the fact that you are sharing it on platforms that have no age gate. That in and of itself, considering what I have gone through at the start on purpose, is contentious. There are systems in place. UK government is trying to do something similar. They tried to a while ago to have a license to look at adult content. For obvious reasons, I was against it. I'm against many things that require a license. For obvious reasons again. And that is no different. The argument there though with the license was that then you could truly restrict the internet so that youths were not able to get access to it, which is a load of bollocks. VPNs exist, which is why you couldn't push ahead with that. See, this is where I also believed it was on the parents to do a better job, to make sure their children did not go looking for it, or did not find it. It is why I alluded to and went into those systems that you can use to prevent these as best as you can. What's really interesting really is Elon Musk, if he's able to buy Twitter, I don't know if he actually has yet or not, because honestly it's all getting quite confusing for my walnut-sized brain, has vowed to do away with censorship on Twitter. So chances are you are not going to be as successful in removing adult content if you are against censorship. But of course, I am intrigued to see how that plays out. As a final point, Twitter's TOS stipulate that the company could remove accounts devoted solely to explicit content, but as many of you will undoubtedly noticed, they're not the best at enforcing it, and they haven't done for a long time. In fact, if you ever report things, chances are you get contradictory messages from them. If someone has tweeted out a dox and you report it, they'll just say nothing harmful there. If they tweet out something that is a clear violation, chances are they're also going to say, nothing to see here, this is fine. Allow me to go do my research. Fap, fap, fap.